The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hong Bin Jung. Singapore has a few homegrown brands that really capture hearts, and Le Petit Society is one of them. Since 2012, Dylan Ong and Robin Liang have built more than just children's wear. They've built a connection with modern families. Their designs and thoughtful approach have made them a favorite across Asia. But growing, a business isn't easy, especially when the global landscape keeps shifting. Rising trade tensions push Dylan and Robin to rethink expansion, pausing the U.S. market to focus regionally. Their story reflects a bigger trend among Singapore SMEs, balancing growth with resilience. Today, we'll explore how Le Petit Society navigates these challenges with partners and with platforms like PayPa to serve customers seamlessly across borders. But first, what does it really take to succeed as a modern homegrown brand? Well, joining us today to share more are Dylan Ong and Robin Liang, co-founders of Le Petit Society, and Belinda Ko, head of SMB sales APAC at PayPal. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. We've got a packed studio today. Well, just to start off, I want to ask Dylan first. What was the initial idea behind starting this clothing line? How did you know it was the right business and not just a passion project?
13 years ago, Robin and I, we started Le Petit Society. We were both working in the financial industry, and I do still remember our many weekends spent in our Hong Kong apartment conceptualizing our launch of our business. So we didn't actually have any kids of our own then. So contrary to what most people assume, the business was not inspired by our own children. Mm-hmm. In fact, we always say that Le Petit Society is our first baby. So if you go back in time to the year 2012, this was the year of the dragon. So my sister had a baby boy, while Robin's brother had twin boys. So suddenly we were looking around for baby gifts wherever we went. We traveled a lot back then and noticed many beautiful baby clothing brands in other countries outside of Asia. It was then that we sort of also realized that the options we had in Asia were those baby blues for boys or the baby pinks for girls, or clothing with lots of character prints on them. So they weren't aesthetically pleasing in terms of style compared to the brands we saw overseas. We also looked at the more premium luxury brands we liked in Asia. The prices, to our surprise, were super expensive when compared to the home markets where the brands came from. And furthermore, when we looked at the label, mostly were also made in China. So that was really the light bulb moment for us, because we asked ourselves, why isn't there a well-known Asian brand that comes to mind, made here in Asia, that had the same stylish designs or quality we were attracted to, but priced to be a good value for money and made more accessible to more people. So at that same time, we also knew that China was abolishing its one-child policy through our frequent business trips to China. And so we thought about how we wanted to be positioned for this demographic shift in this region. So Le Petit Society was born, and over the years we have moved from just being a children's wear label to now also making other lifestyle products as well, such as school bags for older kids.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, every brand has its story, right? But few manage to stand out in a crowded market. So Robin, what would you say truly differentiates your brand from other children's wear labels?
Hi, Hong Bing. Thanks for having us today. I would say we spent a good part of the first 10 years of building Le Petit Society, focusing on product quality and function. And I think we have established that reputation within the Singapore context. From day one, we wanted to make things that parents or children need and will find useful. And we draw a lot of inspiration from our own experiences now as parents to 3 kids. Our youngest is 7, while our eldest is turning 12 soon. And she actually just finished PSLE today. Yay, finally.
Everyone's on edge, right?
Yes. And it's over. Thank goodness. So we've actually gone, I would say, almost the full cycle of having a newborn, or newborns rather, to now having our eldest daughter becoming a teenager soon. So I think we know what parents and kids truly need or find useful, and versus what are just going to end up as trash. We don't want, as a brand, even as just individuals, I don't think we want to add to that retail trash or wastage. And I think our focus on product quality and function have not changed, since we started this brand. In fact, the bar keeps going higher each year because our challenge to ourselves is really to, instead of going more and more or making more and more things, we want to make things that are, truly good quality and useful, things that people will need and keep using. So we're looking for that, one school bag, for instance, that does it all and will last a few years, or that one outfit that can be worn for special occasions like Chinese New Year, but yet is something that you can wear throughout the year. So basically, we want to make products with longevity, which is actually also why, unlike many fast fashion brands, we have a wide range of evergreen products that we sell continuously through the years, which also means we don't really have the need to clear so-called out-of-season products by, aggressive discounting, because that leads to that vicious cycle of making and dumping, right? But I think, after doing this for almost 13 years now, above and beyond all that, while we've started out as a brand thinking about what products we want to make, now we have one step further because we want Le Petit Society to actually mean something more than just being a retail business. I feel that, we as parents, Dylan and I, we feel quite strongly that kids these days are under immense influence from what they see on social media and so on, and the need to conform or be like someone else is even stronger than ever. So we, as a brand with a voice, we hope to encourage creativity and champion individuality by incorporating some customization elements in our retail stores. All 4 of them have that, where we allow children to customize their own stuff, such as school bags or lunch bags, and we hope to let children know that it's okay to be you, is that life is colorful and you can be any color of the rainbow.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, you guys are coming from the perspective of actual parents who know what children need and what parents need as well. Well, Belinda, at PayPal, I'm sure PayPal works with a lot of different brands as well. But what did you think about their story and their brand when you first heard about Le Petit Society?
I think they're really amazing, and I love hearing SMB stories. It's always very personal. There's a reason why they do what they do today. And I think it's really great that I can see Dylan grow his business, and he has actually gone international over the past few years. So I think it's really great to see that Singapore is basically also home to 300,000 SMEs, making up to 99% of enterprises. And we see different dynamics and similar dynamics as well across the region. I could see some challenges that they face as well, like, rising costs, talent shortages, supply chain pressure. But, it's important for them, right? They focus on aggressive expansion overseas. They invest in payment platforms. They look at e-commerce tools. They sometimes invest in AI to boost resilience as well. All these are really great stuff for them. I could see, SMBs like Dylan's businesses where the biggest pain point is managing cross-border, which is really interesting for them. Like there's no more borders, right? It's borderless commerce. I could hear them, dealing with different consumers. It's important for them to localize the website as they sell cross-border, making sure there's available payment methods, dealing with local regulations and building consumer trust, which is so important. And I think SMB needs partners to basically simplify all this journey so that they can focus back on their products and services, which they're super passionate about.
Right. Well, I mean, speaking of expansion here, a lot of SMEs, they dream of breaking into the U.S. market, but you guys seem to make the decision to pause your Amazon FBA expansion there. I mean, Dylan, that's not an easy call to make. Walk us through the challenges you encountered and what ultimately convinced you that the timing wasn't right.
For us, we actually started looking at Amazon more than a year ago, studying competitors and figuring out the logistics and deciding what products may work best for the US market. And the tricky thing that we encountered was with our product category. So in the US, children's apparel requires compliance with the US Consumer Product and Safety Commission. So this means we need to invest in product testing for like lead content on the prints, or flammability testing for the fabrics, and even small parts testing. And our products also needed to have tracking labels so that we can trace back batches of our products in the event of a recall. So without these tests passed, it would mean that Amazon can just take your product offline at any time. So you can imagine, given our broad range of products that we've accumulated over the years, the cost of testing really adds up for us. And after all that, we have not even begun to sell into the US yet. On the other hand, there are incumbents doing really well on Amazon as well. So we would then need to invest significantly in terms of marketing marketing, to run aggressive campaigns, to gain market share. So when we were still in the midst of studying our margins and formulating our strategy for Amazon earlier this year, the global tariff war started, and the change definitely affected our margins even more, as we can't pass that cost on to US consumers and still expect to gain the market share in the US, right? So we were a bit concerned about what other surprises would come up along the way from the Trump administration, and so we decided there's just too much uncertainty for us to proceed. So as an SME, our resources are finite, so we do have to choose projects that we think make the most sense and give us the best outcomes in the medium to long term.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then once you step back from the US, Robin, how did you redirect your growth strategy? I mean, what made regional expansion across Asia feel like the smarter bet?
Asia has always been our focus region from day one. And we already have customers from neighboring countries such as Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Hong Kong, and so on. But we didn't have the right retail partners to work with. So while we put a hold on our plans for Amazon, we actually had some new doors that opened up in the region, and we are currently in talks with potential distributors in countries such as Malaysia and Vietnam. We are also working on more B2B opportunities with some large corporates in Singapore, including schools and hospitals. I think the value in creating a reputable brand, so all this brand building that we, invested in over the years, also means that it's slightly easier for us to open doors now, because we realize that actually a lot of these large corporations, they do know our brand and they actually do like Le Petit Society. So, that's really rewarding, as founders of a brand. We started from nothing and now we are working with big names. And I think our strategy in the current highly challenging retail environment, besides constantly innovating our products, is to diversify our revenue streams. So previously it was quite heavily dependent on e-commerce, but then now besides e-commerce, we have physical retail stores. So we have 4 in Singapore, and more B2B opportunities both locally and overseas.
Definitely. When it comes to, regional expansion, of course, we have to talk about payments, right? Cross-border payments especially. Oftentimes payments are overlooked until something goes wrong. So, Belinda, how does PayPal's infrastructure help SMEs like Le Petit Society build trust with overseas customers?
I think payment is more than a transaction. They are experience that builds confidence. So with PayPal, buyer knows that they have secured checkout, they have fraud protection, they have purchase protection, and features like this are especially important when you're shopping overseas with an unfamiliar brand. You don't know the brand.
Right.
So for SMB, this trust translates into conversion, which is super important for them. For example, our data shows that checkout with PayPal can increase purchase likelihood by up to 74%, even for lesser-known brands. I think it's really beneficial. And in Singapore alone, more than 90,000 businesses sell cross-border with PayPal every year. And we process over 60 million cross-border transactions in just 1 year alone. So all these stats, right, is basically the ability for us, because we are a global footprint, it makes a huge difference where we process billions of transactions worldwide, giving us the skill and the data to power advanced machine learning, looking at basically fraud patterns across countries, across currency, across consumer, and then strengthen risk models. Now, all of these, right, helps businesses like Le Petit Society. And also, because of our two-sided network, we don't just process payments. We also see insights and drive like white papers for SMB and help them understand consumer behavior in the country that they are targeting. So all of these kind of help them grow confidently internationally.
Right. Well, like Le Petit Society, they wanted to expand in the U.S. It didn't. The timing wasn't right. And a lot of more and more Singaporean brands, in fact, they're choosing a regional first strategy as well. Why do you think that approach makes sense now, Belinda? And how does it set companies up for more sustainable growth?
It makes sense to start regionally when it's closer to home because culturally, geographically, geographically is easier to navigate. When Asia is home to fast-growing economies and many consumers are digitally savvy, especially after COVID, right? Post gaining the regional experience, I do see them. Then they move on to Australia market, US market, or even the European market. And our recent studies, which is the PayPal Global Beat 2025 report, actually shows that the top 3 categories Singapore SMB are exporting are namely gaming, beauty, as well as fashion. And the demand is surprisingly not just coming from the US, Europe, or Australia region. They're coming from fast-growing markets like Mexico as well as Israel. So those are super interesting for me. And I think PayPal's role is to give the SMB the flexibility, whether they choose to start regional or they want to start global, looking at, different markets. It's basically allowed them to use solutions like PayPal Complete Payments for seamless checkout because we are present across 200 markets, or even our payment links and buttons for, social commerce, which is super common today, and fast retail expansion. And I do sometimes see that, SMB wants to test and learn about new market. They will set up like a pop-up store just to test whether their product sells. And our payment links and button, which is like a no-code solution, it kind of allows SMB to just create like a shareable links, a QR codes, send the link via WhatsApp, which is really easy and is available in 200 markets and 140 currencies. So it's pretty ideal for social commerce, right, and pop-up stores, and therefore it helps businesses scale securely and convert more customers with trusted checkout.
Right. Well, you guys have payments, all settled with working with PayPal here. But, in the last few years, we had SMEs everywhere having hit with, rising costs, supply chain disruptions, and inflationary pressure. So, Dylan, for a brand like yours, where design and quality are central, and especially as Robin highlighted earlier in our conversation, you guys really put emphasis on those qualities. How do you adapt without, diluting what makes Le Petit Society special?
I think we are, number one, a product design company at heart. So for us, the product quality, function, and the safety are always at the top of our mind. So secondary to that, we want our products to also be accessible and not price ourselves at the luxury level where it's more about the prestige rather than for the utility. So what's core to Le Petit Society is that we will always strive to be that brand where you can find well-designed, functional products that can journey well with our customers across their parenthood journey.
Okay. And Robin, I believe you guys just opened your 4th store at Resorts World.
Yes.
Sentosa, congratulations.
Thank you.
But why double down on physical retail when so much of shopping has shifted online?
We think that physical retail remains relevant. It has been, I think it continues to be and will probably still be for a long time. And I think the most successful brands are the ones providing not just exceptional products, but also unique shopping experience. And there are a lot of things that we can't do online in terms of giving, shopping experience, right? So that's where physical retail will come in. It's always been omni-channel, and a new store will serve as, just a new channel for new customers to discover our brand. But we are very particular about the locations where we open our stores in because Singapore is not big. We don't really need that many stores here. So, all our 4 stores are at locations that tourists would visit. Paragon, Jewel, OUE downtown, which is Shenton Way for business travelers. And then the latest one is Resorts World Sentosa.
Very smart. Okay.
And so that's always been a part of our strategy to grow our customer base, including customers from other countries while being situated in Singapore. We also think that tourism in Singapore will continue to be one of the key pillars of the economy here. So when Resorts World Sentosa approached us, I think it was a no-brainer in terms of location.
Definitely. It's also kind of a little bit of a regional expansion in Singapore.
Yes.
A little bit because you're targeting tourists as well. Very quickly here, we're almost out of time. We're actually over time at the moment. But Dylan, looking ahead, what's next for Le Petit Society? How do you see the brand evolving in the next few years?
I think we will continue in the next few years to build upon our regional presence through retailer partnerships, and we are even exploring a franchise model overseas as we feel that as a brand we need to have that broad distribution to truly make a difference. So Robin and I want Le Petit Society to become that well-known Asian brand that is always top of mind for consumers when they are looking for high-quality baby and kids products. So hopefully we may one day become an attractive takeover candidate, say for a global brand looking for a convenient way to tap on growth in Asia.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Well, thank you so much all for joining me today.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Hong Bin.
having us.
Thank you. That was Dylan Ong and Robin Liang, co-founders of Le Petit Society, and Belinda Ko, head of SMB sales, APAC at PayPal. This has been The Right Business with me, Hong Bin Jung.
Money FM 89.3.